Then I want you to draw all your awareness to the center of your chest. So in the center of your chest is your heart chakra. It's not only responsible for being able to give and receive love properly, but it's also responsible for compassion. It's also on a physical level responsible for your immune system. So I want you to draw all your awareness and attention to the center of your chest and imagine a little green light circling at the center of your chest. Allow that green light to heal anything in the body that needs to be healed. And take a moment to think about that word, compassion. And I want you to think about not so much compassion for other people, but how can you find compassion for yourself tonight? Take another deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, let it go. And go ahead and set your intention for your practice tonight. So you can use that word compassion. You can use something having to do with the heart, or you can set your own intention. So just finding a word that you wish to dedicate your practice to. You can always dedicate your practice to someone or an area of the world. And let's seal that in. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Opening the mouth, exhale. If you're in your supported fish or you're laying down, gently allow yourself to rise to seated. The rest of us will stay seated with our eyes closed. So giving yourself these moments to check out of reality. You'll see me often practice with my eyes closed. I do that because I really like to connect the mind-body. If you can find moments in your practice to do so, I encourage you to do that. We're going to begin by finding some neck rolls. So you're going to drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. So you want to lengthen the left side of the neck, so finding space there on the left side. Keeping in mind you don't want to reach the shoulder up to meet the ear. Everything is nice and relaxed. You're dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder. You're going to drop the chin down to the chest, right in the center. And then left ear, left shoulder, so you're lengthening the right side now. And then as slowly as you can, you're going to roll the head around in circles. So I want you to try to find the stretch in your throat. So that means you have to really relax the back of your neck. Try to go as slow as you can. Try to identify where in the neck it may be tight, especially if you're a side sleeper. You might realize one side is tighter than the other. And then reverse it the other direction. And next time you're back to center, you're going to drop your chin down to your chest. We're going to clasp our hands. You're going to place your hands behind your head, not your neck. So you're going to place your hands behind your head and squeeze the elbows in nice and tight. I want you to round your shoulders. So you want to find a C curve with the spine. So find that C curve with your spine, round out your shoulders. If you feel your hands on your neck, you need to move them higher to your head. So your hands are serving as a weight. You want them on the back of your head. You are lengthening the back of the neck. At the same time, you might want to wiggle the side body around. And then release. You're going to place that right hand on your left knee. Your left hand's going to go behind you. So I want you to think about lifting the chest up and peeling back that left shoulder. So turning your gaze back behind that left shoulder, taking a gentle twist, seeing what that feels like for you. And then releasing, left hand goes to right knee, right hand goes behind you. Again, lifting the chest up, peeling back, turning back that right shoulder. Releasing back to center. So tonight we're going to take a shoulder opener. So we are focusing on that heart center. When we do so physically, when the heart chakra is blocked or we have a lot going on, without noticing, we we roll in, we tuck in, we protect ourselves without noticing. And now especially a lot of us are working at desk, we're hunched over even more. So we're gonna reverse that and open up the chest. So I want you to go ahead and take your strap or your towel or your belt or whatever you have. You may not need it, but I want it beside you just in case. So you're gonna do this to reach that right arm into the air. You're gonna bend the elbow. Use your left hand. Press it all the way down your back the best you can. You're gonna reach behind and see if you can find a bind. If you don't have the bind, a nice solid bind, you're gonna grab your strap and you're gonna place one strap in one hand and then the bottom one. So here's what you do. If you're using a strap or a towel, I want you to pull down. So trying to get that elbow behind the head. So pulling down and then pressing out. Okay, so pull down and out and you'll get a stretch just like if you had a bind. We're gonna hold it here for 4 breaths. Gently release, shake that out. We're doing the same thing other side. Keep in mind, you might have one side you have to use a strap for, the other side you don't. So just see where you're at. Left arm goes into the air. You're bending the elbow, pressing it down your back. You're reaching behind. You're trying to find that bind. If it feels too tight, you just grab the strap. Bring that arm back behind you and then pull down, trying to get the elbow behind the head and pulling out. So down and out will give you that same stretch. 4 breaths. Good, gently release and shake that out. So this is a really good stretch for you to do while you're home. In between calls, if your shoulders start to feel tight or you notice yourself rounding down. So we're gonna find our way to our tabletop. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're gonna flow through some cat-cows. We're gonna do some wrist stretch. So I want you to go nice and slowly. You're gonna inhale, crown of head to ceiling. Super important you find that stretch in your belly. It really helps with your digestive system. So drop that belly down. And then round it out, exaggerate it, pull the belly button all the way up towards the ceiling. And again, go nice and slowly at your own pace, or maybe you're listening to music, so find your own rhythm and flow. You wanna find that stretch in the belly. You wanna find that stretch in your shoulders without judgment. So whatever it feels like, go into it. If you need to hold it an extra breath, do so. And then when you're ready, start to rock those hips from side to side. So see what it feels like to rock all the weight into the left hip and then shift it over to the right, seeing what that feels like. And then I want you to start making figure eights with the body. So shifting the weight of the body over the wrist, taking a nice gentle wrist stretch, and then back over the heels. No wrong way to move at this point. I just want you to move your body. So if those don't feel right for you, go back to your cat-cows or whatever does feel right for you. Come back to your neutral spine. So we're going to take a stretch for our wrist and our forearms. So currently your fingers are facing here. So they look like this. We're going to turn them in. So you're going to rotate out and in. So you're here on your mat. You're going to turn it out and in, out and in. From here, you're just going to gently rock forward and backwards and see what that feels like for you. So rocking forward and backwards. So you should feel the stretch in your forearms. Most of us won't have to go back too far, but if you happen to be super flexible, the goal is to sit back towards the heels. So you're trying to sit back towards the heels as much as you can, but find some movement in the beginning. So rock forward and backwards. And then on this next breath, we're just gonna hold. So sit back towards your heels. Find that stretch in your forearms. Just hold it here, see what it feels like. Close the eyes for a moment. I find it really important that when you're sitting in certain postures, so close the eyes. You have the power in your mind to soften the muscles, so use it. Train yourself to do that every once in a while. Good, come back to center, release those hands. Fingertips facing forward. Give yourself another round of your cat-cows. Let that go. And then let's thread the needle right hand side. So you're gonna raise that right arm into the air. I want you to turn your chest up towards the ceiling, rotate that trunk up, thread that right arm underneath your left. Right shoulder comes all the way down to the mat. Your hips are over your knees. So I want you just to reach that arm into the air and think about peeling back that left shoulder. If you want to take that that bind, you can. If not, left arm into the air, turn your chest up towards the ceiling. Just 2 more breaths. Release back to your tabletop. Release back to your cat-cow. Inhale, crown of head to ceiling, and tuck navel to spine. Just giving yourself a moment to reset. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Same thing. So left arm goes into the air. You're peeling back that left shoulder, opening up the chest. And go ahead and thread it underneath. So left shoulder goes all the way down, hips over the knees. Same thing you did, other side. Reach that right arm into the air. If you want to go into that bind, you're more than welcome to. If not, as long as your intention is turning the chest up, you're doing it right. Last 2 breaths. Releasing right back to those cat-cows. Finding that rhythm. Inhale, crown of head to ceiling, and tucking navel to spine. From here, you're going to reach your right leg straight back behind you. Plant that ball of the foot, send your heel down. So you're taking a stretch in that right calf. So if you're really flexible, you can lift the hips, but most of us won't need that. You can usually feel this just like this. And then switch other side. So left leg straight back behind you. Plant the ball of that left foot, send the heel down. Find that stretch in your left calf. Go ahead, come back to your tabletop. Let's go into our puppy pose. So everything stays the same. Your hips are directly over your knees. You're going to reach the arms out in front of you. It's easier if you start reaching them out and you're up onto your fingertips. Then you just gently start to let the belly and the chest fall down. So maybe you get your chin all the way down. If that's not possible, just relax the forehead down. Reach those arms out. You want to find that stretch in your belly. Last 2 breaths. And then sit back towards a child's pose. So knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, arms still extended out. Rock your hips from side to side. Rock your forehead. Deep breath in and let it go. Let's press it back to our first down dog. So when you're in your down dog, as soon as you get there, pedal the feet, bend the knees, especially if you haven't moved too much today. So really rock it around. Give yourself time to acknowledge what's going on in the hips, what's going on in the calves, the back of the legs. Come up onto those toes, rock the weight forward and back. So no wrong way to move again at this point. I want you to find your own movement that makes you feel like you're loosening everything up. And then you're going to walk your feet to your hands. So here's where you're going to grab your block or your book. And if you don't have that, don't worry about it. I'll give you a modification. But if you have your block or your book, you're going to place it in front of you. Toes on the block, heels down. So depending on how thick your book or block is, will be how deep this is for you. But you want to bend your knees and you want to fold over. So you're taking a deep stretch in the calves and the hamstrings. And if you don't have a block, don't even worry about it. Just knees are bent. You're grabbing opposite elbows and you're just going to hang and rock from side to side. But if you do have your block, you should feel it in the back of your legs and your calves. Practice tucking the chin in and just hanging over. We have 3 breaths here. Good, remove that block. You're staying in that forward fold. Bend the knees, grab opposite elbows if you haven't already. Sway, shake the head, yes, no. Loosen everything up. And then release the hands down. We're going to take a nice stretch for our piriformis, which is going to help with our low back. So you're going to look down at your feet. Do you want to identify where your heels are at and where the arches of your feet are at. You are going to turn the right heel in the arch of your left foot. Right heel, arch of left foot. You're going to walk your hands all the way over to the left. If you can't touch the floor, grab your book or your block, walk it behind you. You are trying to keep your chest as close to the thigh as you can. Tuck your forehead in. You should feel the stretch happening down the back side of your left leg. Release, do the same thing on the other side. Left heel, arch of right foot. Walk it all the way over to the left. So now you're feeling something happening down the back side of your right. Release, walk it all the way back to center. And nice and slowly with the knees bent, you're gonna roll up. So tuck the tailbone under first. Roll the shoulders down the back. Squeeze the bum, push the hips forward. If you're not at the top of your mat, move yourself to the top of the mat. Bring your hands to heart center. Roll the shoulders down the back, tuck the tailbone under. So with the eyes closed, I want you to take a moment to think about something you're grateful for. So draw all your awareness to your third eye, the spot in between your eyebrows. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about something you're grateful for. And let's seal that in. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, let it go. On an inhale, you're going to reach those arms overhead. So you're going to engage your core, squeeze your glutes, push your hips forward, open up the heart space, give yourself a little bit of a wiggle just to warm up. Your exhale is your forward fold, head is nice and heavy. You're going to inhale halfway. You can place your hands on your shins, find your flat back. Exhale will lower you down. You may step or jump back. We're in our high plank if you're stepping back, elbows in towards your rib cage. On an inhale, take that upward facing dog. So pause here, shoulders back and down. You want to squeeze your glutes, get your thighs off the mat, open up the heart space. Then you want to engage your core, flip the toes, press it back, let your bum lead you back to your down dog, heels down. Take a deep breath in and open the mouth, let it go. On an inhale, you're going to step or jump forward. You're inhaling halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way back up, opening up the heart. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, open up. Exhale is your forward fold. Inhale, halfway, find that flat back. Exhale, lower yourself down however you choose. Elbows in, nice and tight. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Exhale, press it back, take your down dog. Deep breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. On an inhale, step or jump forward. You're inhaling halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way back up. Exhale, hands at heart center. If you want to challenge yourself, keep the eyes closed. Inhale, open up. Exhale is your forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, lower yourself down with control. Upward facing dog, thighs off the mat. Exhale, press it back, take your down dog. Take your deep breath in. Take your deep breath out. Inhale takes you forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, hands at heart center. 2 more rounds. Inhale, open up. Go at your own pace if you need. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, press it back, down dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale takes you forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Let's do one last round. Inhale, open up. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, lower yourself down with control. Upward facing dog, open up the heart. Exhale, press it back, take your down dog. Deep breath in, let it go. Inhale takes you forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale brings you all the way back up. Exhale, hands at heart center, eyes closed, pause here. So tuck that tailbone under, push your hips forward, roll the shoulders down the back, spread those toes, send the soles of your feet down. Your legs are heavy. Glue yourself down to that mat for a moment to find stillness. Notice your breath. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Open your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees. Find your way to your forward fold. Head is nice and heavy. From here, you're going to step your right foot back. We're going to go right into a low lunge. So lower the back knee and foot all the way down to the mat. So just stay here nice and gentle for a moment. You want to make sure you're finding a stretch in that right hip flexor. So see what that feels like for you. And then when you're ready, you're going to raise your hands up to your left knee. And practice pushing the hips forward. So it's also really important that you're not at 90 degrees, so you're not here taking our soccer photos. You're pushing the hips forward. You're finding the stretch in the right hip flexor. And then if you want to take it a little bit deeper, add your shoulder opener, your heart opener. Clasp the hands behind the back. Shoulders away from your ears. So you want to actively pull those shoulders away from the ears. Chest up towards the sky. Keep your core nice and engaged. Good. From here, you're going to release your right hand to the center of the mat. You're going to raise up onto your back toes, and you're going to raise the left arm into the air, but you're going to peel open the heart space nice and gentle. Rotate the chest around. Just 2 breaths. See if you can find some space here. You're releasing into your lizard pose after your 2 breaths. So that's where you're going. Both hands inside that left foot, left toes hang off the mat. So your back leg is nice and long. And go really slow. So don't rush yourself to go all the way down to the mat. A lot of us have been sitting a lot, not as active maybe as we normally are, walking to work or walking home. So give yourself a moment to rock the hips without judgment. Maybe grab your block or your book and maybe rest your forearms on it if you have it. But just take your time. We're going to be here for a little bit. When you feel ready, you can lower at your own pace. And it's always nice to rock a little bit when you get right into these postures. You want to think of the body as if you were at a door and you sprayed WD-40 at the door. You wouldn't spray that and walk away. You would spray it and open the door a little bit and close it a little bit. So think of your body the same way. Rocking it out kind of coats all the joints for you. So you can stay right in this lizard pose and not do anything else, or you can come up onto your hands. You can also raise your hands up onto the block. We're going to take a deep quad stretch. So you're going to decide where you need to be. You do not have to take this, but opposite hand will reach back and grab opposite foot. So your left hand grabs your right foot. You want to peel back that left shoulder. You want to open up the hip a little bit, so maybe you're turning the left sole of the foot to face you. Good, release that back foot. We're going to walk our hands over to the right. We're in our wide-legged forward fold. So to start, you want to turn your toes in and your heels are turned out. So toes in, heels out. Your hands are at the center of the mat, or you have your block or your book, and you can rest them there. So you want to start slow. Rock your hips from side to side. Whatever feels right for you. Find a little bit of movement here. You can also rock the weight of the body forward and backwards. Just loosening up the hips. And then we're going to walk our hands all the way over to the right foot. Lower the back knee and foot down. So be really gentle at first. You're framing that left foot. You're just seeing what it feels like in this left hip flexor. When you're ready, you'll keep the core engaged and you'll raise up onto that right knee. Or you can have your hands at your waist, so whatever feels right for you. But again, just find that space right here in this left hip flexor. And when you're ready to go deeper, you clasp the hands behind the back. Take your heart opener. Keep your core tight. Releasing that left hand down, planting those back toes, raising up. You're going to raise that right arm into the air. You're taking that heart opener, so not parallel, but open up that chest as much as you can. You're releasing to your lizard pose. So both hands come inside that right foot. So same thing you did other side. Give yourself time to open up. Go to your rocking space. If you need your block, make sure you grab it. Also just acknowledging, being mindful about what one side feels like versus the other for you. And those of you going deeper, when you're ready, it's opposite hand, opposite foot. So if you did it on the other side, see if you can do it on this side. Right hand reaches back, grabs that left foot, peel back that right shoulder, maybe turning the sole of the right foot to face you. Good, release the back foot. You're going to frame your right foot. We're going to take a hamstring stretch. So you're sitting back towards the left heel without sitting on it. You're going to flex the right toes towards your face. You're going to drop your forehead down to your knee. If you have your block or a book and you need support, you can hold it on the side like this. That's fine. What's most important is you're finding a stretch here and you're working on bringing your forehead down to your knee. Good, rock it forward. You're going to rest your hands back on top of that right knee. You're going to push your hips forward. And then release the hands down. Walk it back over to the left. Take your wide-legged forward fold again. So turning the toes in, the heels out. Give yourself a moment to rock from side to side. Use your block if you need in the center. And see if you can grab opposite elbows and rest your forearms either on your block here, or if you can go down to your mat, use the down to your mat, but you want the block in the center of your mat. So not so much forward, but place your block or book if you're using it in the center of the mat. Or you can just hang nice and heavy. Make sure you're activating, lifting the thighs up. Good, bring your hands down to the mat. You're going to place your right hand in the center of the mat. You're going to turn your left arm up towards the ceiling. So you're turning, rotating your chest up, left arm into the air. You're going to lift those thighs off your kneecaps. If you want to take a double bind, you can reach the back arm back. But it's really important that you're focusing on turning the chest up. So even just having the left arm raised into the air is enough. And switch, other side, left hand down, right arm goes into the air. So same thing, peel back that right shoulder, really rotate it. Find a nice flat back. Release back to center. So just hang nice and heavy. So every time you find your way right back to the center, grab opposite elbows. See if you're a little bit looser. And then bring your hands to the center of the mat, and then place them right on your waist. Engage your core, roll all the way up to standing. So we're gonna go into our frog pose. So from here, show me those feet together. I'm gonna demonstrate it facing the front of my mat, but you should do it facing with both knees on the mat because it's gonna feel better for you. So I'm gonna be here. If you know how to get into it, go for it. But we're going into frog pose. So your wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. You wanna open your knees as wide as you can. You want to look back, make sure your ankles are in line with your knees, toes out to the side, ankles in line with the knees, toes out. You don't want to lean forward, don't want to lean backwards. So you're right here in the center, trying to lower straight down to the forearms maybe, or maybe opening up and bringing the forehead to the back of the hands. So we're going to be here for about 6 breaths. The easiest way to rest in this posture is to surrender into it. And I know that sounds easier than done, but close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes and think about what is going on in your hips and the inside of your thighs right now. So where are you feeling tension? Are you clenching? Are you creating more tension? How can you soften that? And how can you soften that with your breath? So figure out where that tension lies right now. Close the eyes and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and tell all those muscles that they can relax. 3 more breaths. Don't give up, you got this. You're going to keep your core engaged and just gently bring those heels together. Lift up, bring those knees back in. Find yourself to a child's pose facing the front of your mat. So knees nice and wide, extend the arms out in front of you. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And when you're ready, press it back to your down dog. Send your heels down to the mat. Raise the left leg into the air, bend the knee, peel it open. You're going to step it forward to a low lunge, framing the left foot. So we're doing the same thing we did on the other side. You're going to sit back towards the right heel, flex the left toes towards your face. So you're going into that hamstring stretch on the other side. So same thing you just did. Use your blocks if you need. You're dropping the forehead nice and low. And then rock it forward. Rest your hands on top of that left knee. Good, release your hands down. Lift up onto those back toes and step it back. Take your down dog, heels down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, let it go. And when you're ready, we're going to take Malasana, Yogi squat. So you're going to step or jump forward. So your toes are out to the side. So you want to turn your toes out. You want your heels all the way down to the mat. If you find yourself that they're not on the mat, maybe it's because you have your toes in. So see if you can step your stance a little wider and tuck the tailbone under. If not, and you have your block or your book, you can always just sit on it. So you want to focus on opening up the hips. So what you don't want to do is be in a squat. So you don't want to activate the muscles. We're trying to open the hips and relax everything. So your elbows are inside the knees and you're pressing the knees back behind you. You're opening up the hips. You want a nice proud chest. Roll the shoulders down the back and give yourself a moment just to rock from side to side to really loosen up your hips. So we're going to be here for about 5 more breaths. If you want to practice your crow or headstand now, you're more than welcome to. I'm going to stay here in Malasana, but I'm going to keep track of our breaths. So do what you need to do. You have 5 breaths. Last 2 breaths if you're in headstand or crow practice. You're going to place your hands on the mat. So if you're in your headstand, take your child's pose and meet us back in Malasana when you can. For the rest of us, you're in Malasana. You're going to place your hands on the mat in front of you. We're going to take 1 more lizard pose on each side, opening up our hips. So your hands are on the mat. You're going to step your right foot back and shimmy your left foot forward. And you're gonna lower all the way down and just take one more lizard pose on the left-hand side. Also keep in mind you always want your knee in line with your ankle. You never want your knee hanging over your toes. So be very mindful of that. But just see if the hips feel a little looser at this point. If you still need your block or your book, grab it, come up onto it. See what the body feels like in that right hip flexor. See what it feels like in your left hip, your left hamstring. Just acknowledging how it feels as you move throughout your practice. Then come back up onto your hands. You're going to plant the back toes, engage your core, step that right foot forward. You're going right back to your Malasana Yogi squat. Toes out to the side, tuck that tailbone under. Actively push those knees back behind you, opening up your hips. Rock for a little bit from side to side. And then plant the hands back down. You gotta find your lizard pose, other side. Left foot back, right foot, shimmy it forward, lower it down. Just see where you're at, rock those hips. Come up onto your hands, plant those back toes, engage your core, step that left foot forward, go right back to your Malasana. This is our last Malasana, so hands are inside, press those knees back behind you, opening up the hips, tuck that tailbone under, nice proud chest, so roll those shoulders down the back. Take a deep breath in through your nose, open the mouth, let it go. And when you're ready, however you want to get there, we'll find our way back to down dog. So if you want to jump back from crow or you want to take your vinyasa, go ahead and do so. Or if you just want to step back and take your down dog, that's fine too. Send the heels down to the mat. When you get there, rock your hips, bend the knees. See how the body feels. Then raise your left leg into the air. Bend the knee, peel it open. So you want your kneecap to go towards the ceiling. You're going to find 3 wide circles forward. So you're drawing circles on the ceiling with your kneecap, opening up the hips, and 3 backwards. So nice and wide. 3 circles forward, 3 circles backwards. And then place that left foot down. Do the same thing on the right hand side. Right leg goes into the air. Bend the knee, peel it open, open your hip. Find 3 circles forward. Keep your core engaged. Try pressing into your hands equally. And 3 backwards. After your third one, you're going to slide right into your pigeon pose. Right knee outside right wrist. Pushing your back leg back behind you as far as you can. So when you're in pigeon pose, if you have super tight hips, you might be up like this because it's very tight. And that's fine. You can be there. It's better that you're here than collapsing into your right cheek. So stay high on your hands if you need. The further you push that back leg behind you, the lower that you'll get. So stay here for a little bit, open up the heart space, and then as you're ready, you work on going lower. Maybe to your forearms, maybe eventually to your forehead, but take your time. And then come up onto your hands. We're going to take a quad stretch from here. So your left hand's going to reach back and grab the left foot. So you want to work on keeping your hip bones facing forward. If you need to fall into it in order to grab the foot, that's fine, but see if you can engage your core and rotate the hips forward as much as you can. Pointing the toes helps you draw that leg in. So it's a deep quad stretch. If you're not feeling it, if you don't want to do it, just lie back down in your pigeon pose, no biggie. Good, release that leg down, lay right back down into your pigeon pose. We have 3 breaths just to rest and let that all settle. Come back up onto your hands. You can flow through your vinyasa or you can just press it back to your down dog. Your choice, what you want to do, where you're at with your practice. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Just notice how the hips feel. And then same thing, other side. Raise that left leg into the air, bend the knee, peel it open, open that hip, and slide it right on in. Left knee outside left wrist. Push that back leg behind you, nice and long. Notice what one side feels like versus the other. Again, making sure those hip bones are facing forward as opposed to leaning back into that left hip. So how can you stay higher if you need and keep the hip bones facing forward? And then lower as you're ready, just to rest. Coming up onto your hands, let's go into that quad stretch. Reach that right hand back, grab the right foot. So just see what it feels like. And be gentle with it. If it doesn't feel right, you can let it go. You can go back to your pigeon pose, resting. Gently release the back leg. We have 3 breaths, just resting back into our resting pigeon. Gently coming up onto your hands. You're going to flow through your final vinyasa, so press it back to that down dog, send the heels down. Nice and slowly roll it forward. Take your high plank, elbows in, lowering down. Upward facing dog. Hang here for a moment. Squeeze the glutes, thighs off the mat. Peel back the shoulders, rock the hips from side to side. And then engage the core, flip the toes, press it back, take your down dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. When you're ready, you're going to lower to your child's pose, knees nice and wide, big toes to touch. Extend those arms out in front of you. Rock the hips for a moment. Rock your forehead. Take a moment. Come back to your intention you set. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. And then stay in that child's pose, but just walk your hands all the way over to the right. You're going to find a stretch in your left side body, so stack that left palm on top of the right. Find that stretch on the left side body. And walk it all the way over to the other side. So same thing. Find that stretch on your right side body. So stacking that right hand on top of your left, lengthening the right side. Right back to center. Deep cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Gently rolling it all the way up. And find your way onto your back. So bring the legs out in front of you. And tuck that tailbone under. You're gonna find your way to your happy baby. So soles of the feet are gonna face the ceiling. Your knees are outside the arms and elbows. So you wanna roll the shoulders down the back, tuck that tailbone under, and rock from side to side. So really drawing the belly button down. Keep that low back down. Notice what it feels like in the hips and the hamstrings. And then stay in your happy baby, but don't rock. See if you can just hold it. Roll the shoulders down the back. See if you can apply a little bit of pressure onto the soles of the feet. See if you can tuck that tailbone under just a little bit more, drawing the belly button down to the mat. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, exhale. And bring the knees to the center of the chest, and we'll take our twist. So knees go to the left, your gaze goes to the right. You're gonna leave the shoulders all the way down. You can use your left hand to bring the knees all the way down to the left. Gently switch other side. Bring the knees over to the right, gaze is to the left. Use your right hands to help draw the knees in and over. Shoulders stay down. Then bring the knees back to center. Extend those legs all the way down to your mat. And find your way into your corpse pose, or however you wish to take your Savasana. So the legs are nice and extended down the mat. If you want to stop your music and put on something slower, or just shut it off completely, you can do that. If you have something to cover the eyes, or you want to dim the lights, go ahead and do that. You want the body to feel really heavy. So this is your moment to let go of the physical practice. So don't even worry about what you could do or what you couldn't do. Just let that go. Be here in this moment, allowing yourself to rest. Draw the awareness back to your belly. You're going to place your left hand at your heart and your right hand at your belly. So draw the awareness back to the breath. Notice that rise and fall of the belly. And see if you can slow down the breathing if your heart rate is up. Gently scan the body, letting go of any tension. Drawing the awareness to the toes. And relaxing each toe one by one. Relaxing the soles of the feet and all the muscles in the bottom of your feet. Relax the ankles and the calves. Soften the knees. Relaxing the thighs inside and out. And softening the belly and the heart. Roll the shoulders down the back. Relax the muscles in the face. The eyelids are heavy. And there's no tension in the forehead. Especially the spot in between the eyebrows. Soften. Let go of any tension. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. And just listen to these words. Sand, water, and warm weather. A favorite setting to imagine resting. relaxing, and closing your eyes. Take the time to imagine resting and relaxing right now. As the eyelids are heavy, imagine you are at the beach in a place of tropical beauty. What does your private beach look like now? You are on a sandy beach, standing peacefully. You breathe in deeply and you exhale fully. It is warm, and as you approach the water, you see that it is calm, clear, and shallow. You spot a small, colorful, tropical fish in the shallow water, coming into shore to rest where it is less turbulent. Choosing a safe spot, this vibrant fish remains buoyant, watching the fins moving gently in the water, keeping the fish at the same depth. The fish appears unconscious of its efforts to remain buoyant. Let this buoyancy linger in your mind until you feel as though you are light and floating yourself. Allowing yourself to drift. Allowing yourself to go with the ebb and flow of the water. Recognizing how the ebb and flow of the water is just like life. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you will ever have. And whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Don't fight, breathe, and release. Move slowly like the fish, buoyant, light, and floating. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Keeping the eyes closed, gently begin to wiggle the toes, the fingers, and begin to rock the head from side to side. Gently rolling to the right hand side and finding your fetal position as you're ready. Pausing there for a moment and thanking yourself for showing up this evening. Keeping the eyes closed, just gently rise to seated. Placing the left hand at your heart and the right hand on top of your left as you're ready. And gently pressing into your chest. Silently say to yourself, I am powerful. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Holding this feeling of peace within you and trusting that the universe brought you here to practice with me and these people tonight for a reason. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may you be whole. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.